Hey kids, this is my early morning. I noticed something I just want to show y'all. This is a King James Version Bible. I don't have it turned to where I wanted it because I was reading in the glossary, and this is what this King James Version says about Jesus. And you can stop the video and read this for yourself. If I can get this right, let's see. It's like, okay. This way. Okay, I hope I got the whole thing in that. And then I've got this New World Translation. Which when I asked for this because I couldn't see very good, and I asked for this big worded Bible, and the elder that got it from behind the place where they keep all the literature and stuff, boy, he really did not want to give me this. But now he wouldn't want it back because I've written on nearly every page, because there's so many changes and, like, you know, inserts of their own language and policy and agenda. And when I was studying, I just went crazy putting notes all over it. But I found this. Take a look at this. Where am I? There's no Jesus in the glossary. And in this New World Translation, there's devil, Satan, all kinds of names, but not the Son of God. And in the King James Version, they didn't have Satan or the devil. They had Lucifer as a description of what a prophet told a king. Let's see what did that say? Meaning day star, Lucifer, meaning day star. Yeah. Meaning light bringer. The day star was a name applied by the prophet to the king of Babylon in his pride and splendor and glory before his fall, when he said, I will ascend into heaven, I will exalt my throne above the stars of God. That's in Isaiah 14:12 and 13. So I thought that was interesting. Just thought I'd share. Toodaloo. You know, the worst part about this is having to look at myself. I don't like looking in a mirror and seeing an old, decrepit old woman. It really sucks. Well, I used to think it must be really hard on women who are beautiful to get old, because if you're just average to begin with, you don't expect much. What I wanted to say here is that in the back of the New World Translation, it talks about the name of Jehovah, and it shows where Yahweh was printed in scrolls. And it's always Deuteronomy referenced, all the pictures they have. And in the Old Testament, yeah. But in the New Testament, no. Not until, you know, I don't even know what the dates are, so I'll be lying if I say. I should have been prepared, right? Okay, there's got all these pictures, fragments of Deuteronomy, and then Acts. It has a Jehovah God in Acts 3:22, quoting Deuteronomy 18:15 in the New World Translation from the 20th century. All the other ones are, 5th century, 1st century, 2nd century, Old Testament with Yahweh, but it never was Jehovah, and it never was in the New Testament. So I don't know how they can say that it was. There's another Acts 2:34 in the emphatic diaglot by Benjamin Wilson in 1864. They wrote Jehovah, and then in an 1816 Hawaiian language translation of Mark 12:29. But those were evidently those used by Rutherford, and those that translation was well, this says the Bishop of London, George Barker Stevens, Epistles of Paul in Modern English by George Vatican manuscript by Herman 63. So why Jehovah? I mean, when they spoke the name in the Hebrew, they said Yahweh, which was just a pronunciation of the letters and not, as a name. They would say Hashem, meaning the name, because they thought it was too, precious to pronounce. And, anyway, the New World Translation is like denying Jesus as being, the holy name above all other names, which is a pretty important point, because he says he was given authority by his name, authority in heaven and earth. Emmanuel, Yeshua, Emmanuel, Yeshua. I mean, there's a question of that name as well, but still, just make Catholic bishops' pronunciation of the name Yahweh and making a whole religion around it. I guess it was pretty powerful, because they're 8 million strong, right? But it scares me to use the name Jehovah, because I'm not really sure whether that name is really God's name. I know that Jehovah was used in Masonic temples for Lucifer, and I know they use it in all their prayers, and they're, Lucifer worshippers. They think he's very kind. And there's another thing in here. About that name, when King David counted his army and then put a curse on his people to kill them all off. Then the reference to that same incident is further on in another. It's 2 Samuel's 24:1. The original text said he, not one. Like the Jehovah's Witnesses. In their translation, they put, in 2 Samuel, they put the one. I should have had all these ready, right? I didn't know I was going to even talk about this. I just felt like it. 2 Samuel 24:1. How long does it take you to find the scripture? It says, the anger of the Lord again blazed against Israel when one incited, only it's not, it's moved David against them, saying, go take account of Israel and Judah. So that's all mixed up in New World Translation, because the original was he moved David, and this says one incited David. Jehovah was originally the Lord. The anger of the Lord again blazed against Israel, against them, and it should be the anger of the Lord again blazed against Israel when he moved David against them. So, that's confusing. But if you go to First Chronicles, which is the story repeated, First Chronicles 21:1. See, I wonder why the New World Translation changed those words to from he moved David to one incited David. So it makes it look like it wasn't actually the Lord that incited David. They changed it to look like one of the heavenly host or something incited David. And then when you go to First Chronicles 21:1, and it repeats the story, it says, then Satan stood up against Israel and incited David to number Israel. So it's naming who their Lord was. And if they're using the name Jehovah here instead of the Lord, then their Jehovah looks like, in First Chronicles, Satan. It answered itself. And that is a pretty amazing thing to find. Pretty amazing. It's like a secret revealed in the Old Testament. And so using the name Jehovah is a little frightening to me. Okay, I'm starting to feel a little better. I think I'll get dressed and come alive this morning. Thanks for sticking with me, y'all. Tulip. I wanted to add something personal here because not very many people know me. I think you had hair undone. I got my jammies on. And it's cold in here this morning. And, I'm sick of a disease that is real painful. So I'm getting really old before my time. I don't do much anymore. It's hard for me. But I do study my Bible. And so I just wanted y'all to know. Okay,